Silver, a pollster a lot of people follow, forecast for the first time today that Harris is no longer the favorite to win. He says her odds just in the past several weeks have dropped 6 percentage points. He says the race is dead even now.
Well, you know, they say if a woolly worm, if a caterpillar has a thick coat, it's going to be a cold winter. If it has a thin coat, then it's going to be a mild winter. That is about as useful at this point as talking about what one forecaster's forecast says about 6 probability points this direction or that direction. It's close, right? We just know that it's close, and we know that there's only a couple percentage points worth of undecided out there, and how they move in these closing 3 weeks will determine all of this, right? There is enough slack in the line here. There's enough distance here that you could end up with Kamala Harris winning all of the swing states, or you could end up with Donald Trump winning all of the swing states. There's still that much slack in the line. And, you know, as my old daddy used to say, get a hunch and bet a bunch.
Well, let's talk a little bit about all today's action on the campaign trail. We just saw Harris at this event with 100 leading Republicans, obviously making a reach out to Republican voters. She's pivoting her message to really focus on Trump as a danger to democracy. And then Trump, in this town hall with women today on Fox News, doubled down on calling his political opponents, quote, the enemy within. In the last few days, he has suggested he would use the military against them. These are fellow Americans. Harris is hoping to use this to win votes. Do you think it's a potent issue, though?
So she is trying to shame these voters, a lot of them women, a lot of them in the suburbs of places like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and Atlanta and Charlotte and Raleigh, trying to shame them into, it would be great for Kamala Harris if they would vote for her, but if she can just shame them into not voting for Trump, write in Barry Goldwater or do whatever, and remind them of the pain that they felt on January 6th, the anguish that they felt about Trump's efforts to steal a second term. That's what she's trying to do. The point of Liz Cheney and the point of all of this is to say, you can't do it. You just can't do it. Because what tends to happen at the end of an election is the chickens all come home to roost, right? All the people say, well, I don't know. They come in, and then when they come in, they vote their party, typically. And Harris is trying to keep some of those from going back in the coop.
And then, of course, we have Trump at the all-woman town hall in Georgia today. It aired this afternoon. At this town hall, he said, I'm the father of IVF, after he tells the story that he had to ask Senator Katie Britt to explain to him what IVF was. He claimed that most people wanted Roe versus Wade overturned. Polling shows that is not true. But can he use this issue of IVF to help him close this gender gap, a lot of which is driven by fury at overturning Roe v. Wade?
Well, if what he can do is say so he's lost all the voters already for whom this is a make or break issue. On the question of Roe, on the question that those voters are gone.
Yeah.
His concern is the next tranche of voters. The next tranche of voters are the people who say, are they really that extreme? Are they really whatever? So Trump, in Trump salesman form, he's glommed onto this thing. IVF, we're going to make insurance companies pay for IVF. I'll tell you whatever you want to hear, right? This is the silly season of a campaign. I'll say anything you want to hear. You like IVF? I'm the father of IVF. I'll give you free IVF. We'll do it. It's unstoppable. And I'm the best on this. So does it help him prevent loss with that next tranche of voters? Potentially. I mean, you got to say something, because this issue is really bad for Republicans.
It's a bad one for him. He's really struggled with it. So tonight, Trump is on this town hall with Univision, speaking to Latino voters. In this town hall, he was asked about his pledge to deport all undocumented migrants. The questioner, the man asking the question, asked Trump who he would replace the undocumented farm workers with if they were all kicked out. 41% of farm workers are undocumented. 20% of construction workers, undocumented. Vast majority of day laborers, undocumented. Deporting them would have a huge impact on farmers, many of whom say they would go out of business.
Well, I think for the voters that Trump's talking to, if abortion is the great motivator for Democrats to get their voters to the polls that you got to vote, immigration is Trump's issue. And of course, he has the advantage that having been president once and mass deportations didn't happen.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.